Good evening to our viewers. My name is Dr. Anacleto B. Melendez, the founder of the Beautiful Heart Foundation. We are very glad today that we met new friends here in Palo Leyte, the family of Yul, and beside me, of course, one of the grandchildren of Tatay Manching de Vera.
Yes.
I would give you the opportunity to briefly introduce himself,
Mm-hmm.
his own personal background, his professional background,
Uh,
and what he has been doing the last couple of weeks, especially in relation to the super typhoon Yolanda.
okay.
Good evening,
Good
Yul.
evening, Doc.
Okay.
So my name is Yululaya, and I am a teacher by
Uh
profession.
huh.
And then what I've been doing in the past few weeks is that I've been trying to reach out to children who were affected by the typhoon. And because I'm a teacher, my advocacy is really on the continuity of education services, most especially in this time of emergency.
And I understand you somehow you and I came from the very prestigious university here in the Philippines. Uh,
Do we need
I
to mention that
of
though?
course, because that explains why we are so nationalistic, why why we would like to help our people because our own people help us get the best education that we
Right,
had,
yeah, that's right. I
right?
think that's worth
Um,
mentioning.
although I am a few years older, I am batch 77.
Just a few years.
Yeah. I graduated from the University of the Philippines in Diliman, taking a Bachelor of Arts, major in Humanities, pre-med.
Okay.
And how about you, Yul? What year?
Yeah. I graduated
Batch, what
few
year?
batch. I'm 92. I'm
Oh,
1992,
92.
and then I took up sociology, and then after a while I took up education also, and I was sent by the University of the Philippines to become the teachers to the barrios. So
Oh,
we were
you're one
sent
of
from
those few education majors,
yeah,
huh?
yeah. I'm trained for to do rural education.
Oh, and that is very relevant. I've been traveling by land from the years 2005 until 2010 when finally my car had a tragic road mishap
Okay.
in Quezon in the town of Plaridel.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, June 10, 2010. But I started driving all the way from Quezon City to Davao as early as July 2005. So
Mm.
almost 5 years of continuous long driving from Quezon City. Of course, there are times that I take the plane, but
Mhm.
whenever I do my medical mission, I
Yeah.
usually bring my car because most of the medicines and the equipment that I use in medical
Mhm.
missions are inside the car.
Okay.
It's so expensive to bring them along with me in the
Plane.
in my plane because of the expensive excess
Yeah.
luggages. So and during those travels, I passed by the island of Leyte,
Okay.
from Bicol to Samar, Allen is the first town I think, and then all
Yeah.
the way down, and then crossing the world-renowned San Juanico
That's
Bridge,
right.
ending up in the beautiful city called Tacloban, and
Mm.
then Palo.
Palo. Yes.
Yeah, the first time we passed by with my family in July 2005, we even had a chance to have a photo ops or picture taking with the
Wow.
monuments of
The MacArthur.
the General MacArthur and his soldiers. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I never imagined that after those frequent travels, just passing by Palo Leyte, that I will find friends and I can connect with the people here, if not because of Father Eduardo Ponpon Vasquez, the founder of the iWatch,
Okay.
the immediate team of the Oblates of Mary Immaculate.
That's
And
right.
somehow we have common friends
That's right.
in the
That's
person
right.
of
That's
Father
right.
Ponpon Vasquez.
In,
How
in,
did you get to meet Father Ponpon
okay.
Vasquez? I think that's a good
Yeah.
uh, introduction of that long relationship with the
That's
Oblates
right.
too.
When I went to Mindanao,
Mhm.
I went there without relatives, without I didn't know no one
Mm-hmm.
actually. And then I went to the Notre Dame University,
Okay.
and actually the first oblate that I met was Father June Mercado.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
then
this is around what year?
this was 2000 during the
2000.
all-out war in Mindanao.
Oh,
When
under
there
the
was
term of the presidency of President Iraq,
That's right.
Estrada.
That's right.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So there was so many evacuees, and then um, I was trusted by Father John Mercado to be one of the staff of the Ecumenical Commission for Displaced Families.
Mm-hmm.
And then our mission is to reach the evacuees
Mm-hmm.
that are unreached by
Mm-hmm.
ano. So I think it carries with it.
Mm-hmm.
It carries with it the apostolate
Okay.
of the OMI,
Uh-huh.
being the experts of difficult missions.
Okay.
So after that, I went to Pikit again during the war in Pikit in 2003, and
Okay.
it was Father Bert Lyson
Uh-huh.
who hosted me as a part of his team in the interreligious dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was again recurring war in Mindanao.
Okay.
I was doing some work with the evacuees and ceasefire, monitoring the ceasefire.
Uh-huh.
And I was holed up in Datupian. That's where I met Father Ponpon.
Oh, okay.
And we had a life changing experience with Father Ponpon.
Uh-huh.
That, for instance, there were already many evacuees went hungry during that time,
Uh-huh.
and then there were we advocated that food should be distributed to the evacuees,
Uh-huh.
but food were blocked
Uh-huh.
by the government forces.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is we had to do some underground distribution of food
Mm-hmm.
to those to pregnant mothers, to elderlies.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing it at night. We just put it inside our motorbikes and then carry it discreetly to and because of that we had a life-threatening experience. And some sectors do not like us doing that. So that's where Father Ponpon and I had a very that's where our relationship became strong. I think it grows stronger.
Yeah, very interesting relationship.
Yeah.
But before we go further, I would just like to inform our viewers that we had a power failure. Remember, we are in a disaster site recently. There's still, but suddenly we have a power turn on again. What is important during those few seconds or few minutes of dark, they can still hear our voices.
That's
You know,
right.
that's the most important thing.
And because that was also a bit dark story.
Yeah, that's a dark story. Yeah, it goes with the story. Anyway, and from then on, you already you stayed in the field of education,
Right.
with the advocacy of continuing the education of children.
Most especially
Yeah, most especially during times of
emergency.
or disasters.
That's right.
Yeah, and the world really knows that the island of Leyte is one of those islands in the Philippines that was badly damaged and hit by the super typhoon Yolanda.
Right. That's right.
So, bring us back to the time when that very strong typhoon hit the island of Leyte. What happened? Like few hours before that strong typhoon set in this island.
I was not here during that time.
Okay.
But at least what I can tell you are stories of children that I met.
But where were you then? I mean,
I was in Mindanao.
Oh,
during
you were
that
in
time, and
Mindanao.
I came here a day after the
oh,
typhoon.
okay, right after the
Right
typhoon.
after
How
the
did you
typhoon.
get to when in fact
Well, it was magic.
we were seeing in the news that it's the island of Samar and Leyte seems to be unreachable.
And it was actually practically unreachable.
Uh-huh.
But when I went to Cebu, went to Ormoc by boat, and then I rented a motorcycle in Ormoc and I drove
Oh.
it. It took me 8 hours. To
Can you
reach-
imagine 24 hours after the disaster?
Yeah.
So how was it in the road?
No, the road was really not passable, but we
Okay.
had to carry times you have to carry our motorcycle, then drive again, and then
So
you have to navigate.
you came from Cebu,
I came from Davao,
and then
and then I flew to Cebu, and then took a boat to Ormoc, and then
because this was already a boat going from Cebu to Ormoc.
there was very rare, but I was able to had a chance to ride. It was very full of passengers, and
Okay.
then because also of the food that were being carried from Cebu to Ormoc. So it was basically the areas that I passed by in that evening was seemingly all the same. Debris, trees fell, trees were in the street,
Obstructed. The roads are obstructed
obstructed
by all this
roads, yeah,
debris
yeah, yeah.
and maybe dead bodies too.
Dead bodies too, right?
Yeah. Wow.
And then when I arrived after 8 hours of motorcycle driving, I started 8:30 and I arrived here 2:30. But when I arrived here in Palo, it was three times that I wasn't able to locate our house
Oh.
because of the so much distraction. I thought um, this was the right way, and then I tried another one. And
Yeah,
I tried another
because
one.
it's totally
Yeah.
disorganized with
Oh,
everything obstructed
yeah.
and dark, and at the same time dark. There was no
Yeah,
electricity.
and I was a bit worried when I saw a house,
Uh-huh.
and I thought I said, "Oh, our house was gone. How about my family? They're no longer. There's no people, no
Very
one, no one."
confusing, huh?
And then suddenly I realized, "Oops, this is not our place."
Oh, okay.
Yun again. So,
Yeah.
but then that's it.
Uh-huh.
So
But of course, I heard from your grandfather earlier
yeah,
that the real story that happened when he was
that's
here
right.
in your
That's
house.
right.
Anyway, what is most important for me now is to learn what you do upon your arrival. What were the first things that should be done then?
Yeah. I think it was um, well to say that I don't know. Well, this is just my guess, but it seems that it was important that I was also present because
At the right
at
time.
the right time because
Mm-hmm.
many decisions were being made at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Especially
um,
for your own immediate family.
yes, for my own immediate family, what to do, um, and then where to go, and then things. It's important for the I think the element of survival as a
Yeah.
family.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were many as days go by, like 2 days after that, no, two, 3 days, even 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
The discussions were really more on survival,
Mm-hmm.
where to get food, where to get water, where to get kerosene, where to get medicines.
But this is because no one was really prepared.
I think there was some degree of preparation, but I
Uh-huh.
think the preparation was not enough.
Was not enough.
Yeah, given the magnitude of the
Uh-huh.
ano,
Yeah, because that's what I heard from your
yeah,
grandfather. It was just declared as a low pressure area. It
yeah,
was not even, clearly announced that it is a super typhoon.
yeah, yeah. I think there was certain degree of preparation, but I
Uh-huh.
think the preparation fell less
Mm-hmm.
compared
Mm-hmm.
to the
And this is
magnitude.
really a lesson learned
That's right.
that
That's right.
we should not take for granted that idea of always be prepared.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, going back to education, since you are an expert in that special field of
Not
educational approach
not an
to,
expert.
yeah,
Have only having an experience
yeah.
on
So you applied that practically here in your
That's
island.
right. The first time when I came here, and then I attended some meetings in Tacloban because most of the activities are being conducted in Tacloban, the
Mm-hmm.
coordination. Then we have to walk from Palo to Tacloban.
Mm-hmm.
Then the very challenging thing is really to continue education.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why it's challenging because no one really sees it as important.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Um,
because maybe the focus was just on recovery of dead bodies and
Covering dead bodies
yeah,
and giving food and
searching for lost family
that's right.
members.
But these are perspective of adults.
Mm-hmm.
But if we try to look at the perspective of the of
Children, of a
children
child.
of a
Yeah.
child, The most important to them is no, our notebooks,
Mhm.
bags, schooling,
Mhm.
friends,
Mhm.
play, teacher. So
Mhm.
these are the most important things
Yeah,
in the perspective of a
because the
child.
life of a child revolves in the school and
That's right.
home.
That's right.
Yeah.
75% maybe of the life of a child revolves
Mhm.
around the
Mhm.
school
Mhm.
and the classmates.
Mhm.
So if we again if we cut that life
Mhm.
the rhythm if we cut that rhythm in the life of the child, it's
Mhm.
like cutting
Mhm.
50 or 75% of his
Mhm.
life.
Mhm.
So that's why it's important. So
Mhm.
and then added to the challenge was um, the all schools are really
Mhm.
devastated.
Yeah, even until now, more than a month, I can see school buildings without roofing.
That's right. That's
Mhm.
right. That's when the physical space of a school is ruined.
Mhm.
Third challenge is that um, we teachers we are trained to do teaching in normal setting.
Mhm.
Even if we do masters in or
Mhm.
doctorate in
Mhm.
education,
Mhm.
our
That's the conventional way of teaching
that's right
in a typical classroom where
classroom.
everything that you need is
That's right.
present.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
So um, um, it's really I know it's really challenging to convince teachers to really
Mhm.
make them believe that education should be continued, most
Mhm.
especially in times of
Mhm.
emergencies.
It's not a reason for that education of a child be stopped because of an emergency or a disaster.
That's right. And we have teachers who do not only believe, who are not only not resolved of doing education during
Mhm.
emergencies, but these are also teachers who themselves have devastated
Yeah,
homes,
and
have
that is
implemented,
understandable. Of course,
which
they
is
have to deal with their
understandable.
own immediate families
So
and look for their own immediate families
that's
who
right.
are missing and
That's right.
or dead. You
That's
know,
right.
so so in that kind of situation here, what happened? How many days were you able to implement that program?
Um, so there was a typhoon on November 8th,
Uh huh.
and then there was certain coordination and advocacy
Mm-hmm.
and trying to get some resources.
Mm-hmm.
And by December 2, we were able to
Mm-hmm.
send the message that
So
education is
more
possible.
than about 3 weeks or
More than 3 weeks.
more than 3 weeks.
In my experience in an
But
emergency,
normally, when should it start? That kind of approach.
um, it depends on the magnitude of the emergency.
Mm-hmm.
In my experience, for instance, in some conflict areas in Mindanao,
Mm-hmm.
we we are able to start the classes a week after, or
Mm-hmm.
even 3 days, 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
We can,
Yeah, but
we can.
that's not as bad as you have here, of course.
That's right. That's
So
not.
there's a reason why there's a delay in the
There's a delay.
implementation of that special program.
And also because in Mindanao we are already used to emergencies,
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah.
somehow
Yeah.
we already
Mm-hmm.
manage. The
Mm-hmm.
Department of Education, the education system is somehow already resilient to this kind
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm. But in here,
events.
in
But
this
here,
island, yeah.
there's no capacity, and
Mm-hmm.
there's not no amount of resiliency
Mm-hmm.
yet
And
to
how
do
is it
this.
doing now? I mean, in terms of success after December 2.
Um,
We are now on December 17, actually.
That's right. But as of now, based on our counting, out of 600, more than 600,000 children affected,
Uh-huh.
we are now somehow able to manage to resume schooling of around, on the average, 35%
And
of
you
the
are referring to the island of Leyte or just this?
Leyte and Eastern Samar,
Oh, including
Samar,
Eastern
Ormoc,
Samar. So
Tacloban.
practically Region 8.
Yeah, but you
Uh-huh.
know where it started. That that what's this? It spread like a disease.
Mm-hmm.
It started here in Palo,
Mm. Because of your
i-
presence, maybe.
in the school of my mother,
Yeah.
where I
Oh.
graduated in
Oh,
elementary.
okay. Uh-huh. But
My
of course, with your support and your experience.
and my mother was very apprehensive to
Uh-huh.
really doing this. The education
Uh-huh.
emergency.
Oh, okay.
Every night we do mentoring. Every night
Oh,
she waits for me, and then
okay.
until I tell her, "Don't worry, Mama. It will be chaotic in the first
Uh-huh.
1 to 3 days,
Mm-hmm.
but as soon as you get
Mm-hmm.
a better sense of it, you'll be able to
Mm-hmm.
organize. You'll be able to
Mm-hmm.
make things
Yeah.
happen." And just today, I heard that some network, a national network already visited them.
Mhm.
Last Thursday, 11 ambassadors visited them.
Mhm.
And almost on a daily basis, somebody's giving them rations already. And
Well, yeah,
children are increasingly
yeah.
using
With that super typhoon Yolanda, it brought all countries together to help the Philippines.
That's right.
Of course, I appreciate the local participation of our own kababayans, people's organization, associations,
That's right.
of course, the government, that though short or falls short of my personal standard,
Yeah.
but still, the beauty of a disaster is it brings out the best in people,
That's
the
right.
best in the beautiful hearts of people
That's right.
to
That's right.
assist and help and
Oh,
to transform lives, to pick up the pieces, so to
that's right.
speak.
In the context of us, for instance, teachers, I keep telling them, and I think they realize it very much. This is an opportunity also for
Mhm.
teachers to
Mhm.
deepen our commitment
Yes.
and strengthen our sense of mission.
Yeah. In the same way that as a healthcare professional, over the years that I have been doing medical missionary work, whether there's disaster or not, just dealing with the poor patients,
Right.
as you do it more frequently, you become more devoted to
That's
it.
right. That's
You
right.
enjoy it. You
That's
don't
right.
even consider that work anymore. Even without pay, you
That's
enjoy it.
right. That's
So
right.
that's exactly what is the beauty of anything anything just to help people.
Oh
You
yeah.
forget about
That's right.
salary,
That's right.
because
Anything.
what motivates you now is not the income, the salary, the compensation, but the joy of
Yeah.
being able to help other people in need.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And before we go, I know that the need here is still very enormous.
Enormous.
I've been to a very special medical mission work today in the jail, provincial
Yeah.
jail. I enjoyed it. We were very successful somehow, but there's more work that I am trying to advocate, especially in the economic recovery
Right.
program.
Right. I
Now,
agree.
as far as your advocacy in education, I am giving you the opportunity to make your own personal appeal, especially to some other organizations or individuals who have never shared yet,
Yeah.
a part of their resources, or maybe to those organizations who are still there to continue helping.
Yeah.
Yeah, so please.
Yeah. In times of emergencies,
Mm-hmm.
um, if you want to invest in the recovery and in the future, it is best to invest in education
Mm-hmm.
of
Of
children.
course, yeah.
Always. So the sooner that we are able to resume schooling of children, the
Mm-hmm.
better it will be for them. Because the faster that they will recover,
Mm-hmm.
the sooner that we will be able to